When it comes to big dreams, there are usually very powerful gatekeepers. Our big dreams are the big role that we want, and the casting directors are the gatekeepers. Let's say you want to get your dream job, but there are also 1,000 other wonderful job applicants. Or you want to become the TA for your favorite class, but so do a bunch of your other classmates, and you're not quite sure how to stick out to your professor. Or you want to befriend this person that you think is really awesome, but they're already super popular and don't have a lot of time for other friends. Or you want to interview a famous author, but they get tons of requests and their agent is always turning people down. How do you get the role when the odds are stacked against you, when the gatekeepers are very powerful and have a lot of other options? Obviously, part of it is actually being the right fit for the role, actually being a competitive job applicant, actually knowing your stuff when it comes to that class you want to TA, actually having something in common with that popular person, actually having an audience so you can provide free marketing to that author. But that's basic knowledge. There's a secret edge to this that isn't quite as obvious, and that is, if you want to get the lead role, you can't be sucking up to the casting directors. You cannot lead with desperation. You have to treat them like your equals. In this video, I'm going to give you 2 examples of real-life people that did this, and why this technique worked so well for them. I'm going to be coining it the James Gandolfini technique. Let's get right in. Many of us are familiar with the brilliant TV show The Sopranos, whose lead actor is James Gandolfini in the role of Tony Soprano. But when I was watching a documentary about the show, I was struck by one thing in particular: the story of how James Gandolfini was casted. What happened is this. According to director David Chase, he came in and he was all huffing and puffing. He started and then he stopped in the middle of it and said, "I can't do this today. I can't do this. I haven't prepared right." And he left in the middle of the audition. And then there was a lot of negotiating and convincing, not on my part, but on the casting people's part. He then didn't show up to the second audition, and eventually they had a third audition where Chase thought Gandolfini was perfect for the role. Now, David Chase and all the other casting directors would probably swear up and down that Gandolfini was just the best fit for the role. He was just the best actor, the best fit for Tony Soprano. But from a psychological perspective, I just find it very difficult to believe that there wasn't a little bit of reverse psychology going on. Whether intentionally or unintentionally, Gandolfini in part got the role because he wasn't desperate for it. If anything, he made the casting directors feel like they were the ones vying to keep his attention. I mean, think about it. You're a casting director and you have hundreds of talented actors coming into audition. They're all super excited, super professional. Some of them are nervous, some of them mess up because of it. Some of them are overly subservient in hopes of getting the role. Most people, when dealing with powerful gatekeepers, go overboard trying to be deferential. But what message do you think that sends to the gatekeeper? They're essentially saying, "You are above me. I hold no power here. I'm at your mercy, and I really want what you have to offer." Versus, what message did Gandolfini send? "I'm interested in what you have to offer, but I don't mind walking away if I need to. You're not above me here. You may hold all the power, but we are in fact equals. I don't need this desperately." When you treat a powerful person like an equal, they are in turn more tempted to treat you like their equal. So although I'm sure talent and goodness of fit had something to do with it, I truly believe that Gandolfini used a little bit of reverse psychology on the casting directors, whether consciously or unconsciously. The second example I want to give is how Camilla Alves won the heart of Matthew McConaughey. So recently I read Matthew McConaughey's memoir, Green Lights. I made a more detailed video about his harsh upbringing here if you want to check it out. One of the other things that really caught my eye from his memoir was the way he met his current wife. Now, of course, when Matthew McConaughey saw his wife, he was struck by her beauty, but as he pointed out, he had dated dozens of wonderful women by that point, likely all beautiful and successful and wonderful people. So what was it about Alves that roped him in so much? To put it succinctly, she didn't suck up to him. She didn't treat him like a celebrity, she was highly confident, and she treated him like her equal. She wasn't selling nothing, didn't need to. She knew what she was, who she was, and she owned it, her own element, a natural law, a proper noun, inevitable. He told himself, "This is not the type of woman you wave over from across a bar, son. Get your ass up, young man, and go introduce yourself." He said, "I could tell she recognized me, but she remained seated, again, not for sale or easily impressed." "Camilla," she replied as she extended her right arm up and gave an assured yet casual handshake. So that night he tells the story of how her car got towed, so she needed to go sleep at his place, but she didn't sleep with him. And then he said, "The next morning I woke up around 11. As I walked down the spiral staircase to the foyer that led to the kitchen, I heard people talking and laughing. The kind of overlapping speech and humor that only people who are extremely comfortable with each other can have. It sounded like old friends. As I approached the kitchen, there she was, with her back to me, sitting on the center bar stool at the cooking area's island, wearing the same turquoise dress over the same caramel shoulders. She was holding court. My housekeeper dished out pancakes to her and my 2 shirtless friends who were cackling at the innuendo of a story she'd told less than an hour ago. It not only sounded like old friends, it looked like old friends. No juvenile next morning walk of shame, false modesty, no rush to get out of a house she never intended on staying at overnight. No, just good-humored grace and confidence. She was in her own element. She wasn't shy, meek, overly subservient, overly happy to be there. She made herself at home. She was charismatic. He invited her on a date the next day, but she said she couldn't go because it was her dad's birthday. 14 years later, she's still the only woman I've ever wanted to take on a date, sleep with, or wake up next to. Now, what do you think would have happened if Elvis had instead been fangirling over McConaughey? If she had asked for an autograph or a photo, or slept with him right away, or blown off her dad's birthday to go on a date with him? I'm willing to bet they probably wouldn't be married today. It doesn't matter how beautiful she was, how great her personality was, how brilliant she was. When a man constantly has women throwing themselves at him, the only woman who's actually going to feel worth his time is the one who doesn't do that. The one who makes him work for it a little bit. He's not going to settle down unless he finds his equal. Someone who believes herself to be his equal, no matter how famous he is. Now, how do we apply these 2 examples to our own lives? When you're dealing with powerful people or gatekeepers to something that you want, don't act like you need them more than they need you. For example, in a job interview, be professional and cordial, be on time, but also ask questions to see if the company is a good fit for you. If the interview is being rude or out of line, don't pretend to be okay with it. Don't be like, oh my god, yeah, I have absolutely no issues working 70 hours a week. That's totally fine with me, because the company's going to go with the person that doesn't pretend they're okay with something that they're not. They will smell your desperation. When they come across desperation, they assume you must want what I have to offer so much because you don't have that much to offer in return. Secondly, treat powerful people like your equals, because they are. Just because someone has a lot of options, whether they're an employer, a celebrity, a casting director, doesn't mean they're above you. Know your worth, stand tall, be confident. Treat them as you would treat a peer, not your maker. Let's say you see somebody gorgeous at a bar and you want to ask her out. Don't self-deprecate and talk about how out of your league she is. Instead, talk to her like a normal human being. Connect with her about something other than what everyone prizes for, which is her looks. In summary, life's an audition, and if you want the lead role, you can't be sucking up to the casting directors. They will smell your desperation, and they're going to go with someone who's confident, someone who treats them like they're equal. Ironically, by releasing control of the outcome, meaning whether or not you get the role, whether or not you get your dream out of this, you're releasing attachment to your desires. Tell yourself, yeah, it would be nice to get this role, get this job, get this girl, but I'll be just fine if I don't. I don't need them more than they need me. I'm genuinely curious what sort of situations you guys are trying to apply this to in your own life. And also, have you ever noticed this phenomenon? Have you ever tried it yourself? How did it go? Hey there, just hopping on here real quick to let you know that I now have a Patreon where you can find more exclusive and ad-free content. I post 1 video a month on there that didn't make it to YouTube for whatever reason, either because it's more unfiltered than my usual content, it's too niche for the algorithm, it's not something I want to share with the general audience, and so on and so forth, as well as exclusive stories and personal essays written by me. At the very least, I post 1 essay per month on there, but I love writing so much that I'll probably post a lot more, to be honest. Being at the mercy of an ever-changing algorithm isn't always fun, so if you want a way to support the channel and make sure I can keep making these videos for you guys, link is in the description down below. Take care.